I was taught boxing. I've heard people call it grid boxing. I've heard it called other things that really didn't make any sense to me. So boxing it is. It stuck with me. Okay. I'm at a point here. Okay, and my objective is right here. Okay, so I'm coming up and I blow right past it. Okay, so we're going to say that this is 1,000 meters. Okay, this right here is 1,000, and I was projecting that I was going to hit 1,000 meters, and I should be on my target right here. Okay, I've gone past it. What do we do? Any ideas? Any ideas at all?
Find a new location.
I have a method that I use. I don't know if it's proper.
Okay, so go ahead.
What I do is I figure out what my new coordinates is, where I'm at, and you can either do one or two things. You can either turn around and plot you a new course back to where you're at, or you can come down, figure out where you're at. If you have new grid coordinates here, you can come in and figure out how far the distance is, how far it is over, and just run that backwards.
Okay.
Which a lot of people do that. It's a quicker way to say, okay, I know that I blew past that. Well, I need to come back to my next checkpoint here. So I need to figure out I'm here, subtract this, let's say 500 yards. I walk back 500 yards and get to where I need to be, and then say, okay, from here, 1,000, subtract, and then walk over by that.
Okay. So if I knew where I was,
Now,
if I knew that
Yeah,
I
basic
had gone
subtraction.
past the objective, then I would probably shoot a back azimuth like you're talking about, and I would go backwards. If there was a highway up here and it's like, oh damn, I hit this highway, I shouldn't have hit this highway, then I would shoot a back azimuth and I would go backwards. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I go to where I think I'm supposed to be and I end up right here where we're sitting, and I'm looking around, it's like it's not here, and I don't really see a whole lot of things right here. I don't want to get too far off my path because this is where I walk in. That's how I get home. I don't want to leave this spot very much, right? So I'm going to show you guys the technique. Again, it's called boxing. So how many of you guys got the reflective belts whenever you went through boot camp and everything else? Okay. So you can use those. You can use a lot of anything, right? Anything that's not natural. So if there were a couple of sticks close by and I walk up and this is my spot, I'm going to grab 4 or 5 sticks and I'm going to make cross hatches and make a star on the ground. And this is where I ended up. Okay. So from there, I know that according to my pace count and according to everything that I know, this is where my knowledge led me to. Okay. So I'm comfortable that my knowledge can lead me from here back to where I came from, right? So you want to mark that spot. Don't just take a rock and stick it there. Don't just take a stick and put it there. Put something there that is not natural, that
Drop your pack, drop something reflective, drive a stick in the ground and build you a cross.
put something there, okay? So I've ended up here, okay? I've ended up 1,000 meters away from where I started. I don't know if I passed the objective or not. I'm going to put something on the ground. Mark, this is where I'm at. Now, the easy thing to do, okay, it's boxing, and the reason it's called boxing is because you're going to make a box. You're going to make 4 boxes that make one big box, okay? I know this is where I started, right here. I'm going to take my compass, and I'm going to get a bearing 90 degrees from the bearing that I was currently heading. So if I was heading at a 10-degree heading, okay, then I'm going to add 90 degrees to that, and now my direction of travel is going to be 100 degrees, okay? And I'm going to walk 50 meters in that direction, okay? So I'm going to head 50 meters Why do you think it's 50? Why do you think I was taught 50?
You don't want to get too far off your regular.
You don't want to get too far off, but what did we just talk about? The human error times 2, the declination moving one direction or the other. You know, those types of variables. Within 50 meters, you should be able to come close.
If you've
You
got
know-
75 or 100, there's been some major errors.
You really gone.
Somebody's really screwed the pooch.
Right. So I'm gonna go 50 meters that way. Now I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna go 90 degrees this direction in 50 meters. And then as I come back to my original travel path, I'm gonna go another 50 meters there, and then I'm gonna come back to my starting
It was
location.
mine.
So that's another reason why you want to make sure that you know for damn sure where you started, so you end back where you were. Okay? So I'm going to go 50 meters, 50 meters. I'm going to make a box. Okay? Well, that's called boxing. Now, within that travel, you've got to be scanning everything, because you think you're there. In your mind, you know that you're right there on top of it. You got to be scanning, observing, trying to figure out what went wrong. Where's it at? Now I get back to here. I still haven't found it. Okay? So what I'm going to do, instead of 90 degrees, I'm going to add 180 degrees to my original bearing, and I'm going to come back to the west. 50 meters, go north again 50 meters, back to the east, and then back south. So now I've covered here. Once I get here, I'm going to go back to that same 90 degree bearing. Then again, add 90, come here, add 90, come back, add 90 and come here. And within this, you know, you're going to replicate that on this side as well. So what you've done is you've increased your area, your opportunity, by 100 meters squared. Right? If within that 100 meters squared, you still haven't found your objective, then you land back on your star pile of sticks or your stones or whatever it is you mark right there, and you back out. Because number one, that took forever to do. Number two, it's whatever it is, you know, I'm confident enough in my ability to read a map and shoot an azimuth and go 1,000 meters. If it's not there, I need to go back and we need to hash this out and say, instead of one person being in jeopardy out here, we're fixing to have 2 people in jeopardy out here because I'm not finding them, and you guys are going to be looking for me later on. Either I've got a bad map, something, my equipment's not right, or what you're looking at isn't right, and they need to know that nothing's out here. Okay? So that's technique of boxing. Okay? You'll see, and you know, I think YouTube's awesome, but I think some people get on YouTube just to screw with people's heads too sometimes. And you'll see people that, you know, do a corkscrew and just walk in circles. The worst thing you can do when you're like navigating is walking in a circle. The absolute worst thing you can do. You'll end up doing that by accident.
There's no mathematical formula to it to be able to say, go here, go here, go here.
Yeah.
You go walking in a circle, it just...
In a minute, we're going to go down there. We're going to walk our paces and see what our pace count is, and we're going to do it in a straight line. We're not going to go, well, what's my pace count if I walk in a circle? Well, how big is the damn circle?
Yeah.
You know, we're going to walk in a straight line, and that's how, you know. Go ahead. You got your mouth open.
Doggone it. I do want to touch something on that before you
All
get
right,
done.
go ahead.
When you guys get ready to do the box method, something that'll really help. I know that I have passed. I have got my new location. I've come up on the road. This is where I am, and I know I need to be here. Start with your box here first. A lot of times, if you come past your objective, and I know that it's back to the south of me, southeast of me a little bit, I can do my box. You know, I come up, shoot you an azimuth, a back azimuth of 180 degrees of what you are, come back down your 50, and then start your box
Well,
out.
if you're not too damn sure where you're at.
If you don't know where you're at, you're screwed. You need to sit down
Well,
and
that's
figure out
what I'm
where
asking.
you're at.
If you don't know exactly where you're at, then how the hell you gonna do what you just said?
Well, that's the thing. You have to find yourself. You have to know where you're at on a map 24/7.
Yeah.
All the time. You have to
Yeah.
know where you're at. But if you come up, instead of coming up here and saying, okay,
Oh, how cute.
yeah, instead of coming up here and saying, okay, I know that I have passed my objective. Now I
You
want to
knowing
start
that you
box
already have.
up here. I know that I've passed my objective. Instead of coming up here and doing your box up here, do your box back here. Find, okay, I'm on the map. I'm on my map, and I've walked. I've passed what my objective is, and I know my objective is back over here. Do a 180 degree
You want a knife?
pen and paper. Write down. This right here is where. Well, take a pen on your map and circle. Right here is where I started. Okay, and then do your 50 and start it back out. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
with you on that.
I
Yeah,
might
I'm
have
with
been kind of screwed up a bit, but usually you can cut your time if you do just that
I'm with you
one
on that.
back in the general direction that
Take
was.
from originally.
Yeah. Now, what I've seen a lot of people do is they'll take and they'll say, I'm going to shoot my back azimuth to start back this way, and I'm here. I know my objective is right here. They'll say, okay, this is 100 meters, and I need to be 7 in. They'll take and they'll say 10 from 7, I need to walk that far backwards, and then it's so far over, subtract it, and then they'll walk back and then do a 90 and then walk 2 or whatever they need to get to where they're at, and they can find spots pretty simple that way. So I mean, 1,000 square meters, 1,000 by 1,000, that's
That's a lot.
a lot of ground.
A lot of ground.
Yeah. So I mean, but if you take and say, okay, I'm here, crap, I've overshot, bam. Just to kind of, and some people think a little different on this. They can say, okay, I've come up and I've got 1 through 10, so I know 7. 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need to come back 300. They'll 180, they'll go back 300. Then they'll say, bam, here's where I am. Then they'll say, okay, now I need to make a 90, and I need to come over blah, blah, minus blah, blah. Okay, here's my spot. I need to go 6. They'll turn 90 and they'll go 6. And they'll kind of put them on. Which, I mean, a lot of that land nav stuff that I did in the military, they give you the bare bones basics, and people get out there with the map and they go, oh, bam, well, they overshoot something. Instead of trying to correct the ordeal, they would say, oh, crap. So instead of trying to shoot them a new plot or set them up a plot to walk at an angle across, they would come all the way back down and then go all the way back over to that square. And they'd spend half a day trying to get back to their first corner, and then they would shoot new azimuths. They wouldn't do subtraction. They always wanted to add everything. This, bam, bam. But hell, they'd end up here, and they would come all the way back down, then come all the way back over the square. Then they would shoot them a new azimuth, and then they would draw them a line. They'd get on a new course, and they would follow that course, where they get all screwed up. Well, now they're here, and then they'd freak out. Oh my God, where am I at? Hell, they'd be walking in circles out there trying to figure out, where do I need to go? How do I need to get there? And it was just as simple as, I know I'm right here, so I need to come down and then 90 it over to simplify it. Instead of trying to come at an angle, I know that I need to come back blah, 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 blah on this azimuth, and then 90, and that'll walk me straight to it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on flat ground, if you're on flat ground, there's not, a lot of obstruction in the way where you can see around. Then when you get here, you're gonna probably see your objective anyway. But, I would never get to where I think I'm supposed to be and then shoot a new azimuth and take off. I would use the back azimuth as the way I came in. Use that as your reference, because that's what got you there, and it should get you back out.
Yeah.
Right? You shoot a new azimuth, then who knows where you're going.
Pen and paper.